afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast. I'm your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, here off-site defender of the fatherland. Off here to a 1 vs 1 on the ever-lost glider. In the north, it's KampfgruppeLehr, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of, well, the Panzerlehr Division, I guess. In the south, it's America, freedom, democracy, with DeepDarkFantasy, fighting for America, freedom, the American way, and corporate interests, taking on the role here of the 6th Armored Division, with assault units popping out. There we got Stuart and infantry different, KampfgruppeLehr with Jaeger armor, Spearhead, and Jaeger infantry, machine gun infantry, and Panzergunner divisions here on the ever totally lost glider. Double machine gun stop here from KampfgruppeLehr in an interesting opening there versus the Americans. Could be indicating here a tier 2 rush, which tends to be less common as of late, particularly versus the Americans. But again, if you can handle the machine guns aggressively and actively, you should actually have a good chance versus the Americans. Few points secured by the Pioneers as they swiftly double ahead there for the fatherland. Reaction securing the fuel point, or at least attempting to, with the Sony's map to cover up there. Bit more capturing of territory, center victory point being seized there. Machine moving aggressively, but problem is, of course, he needs some sort of clearance ahead in case otherwise he's going to just run them and get them shot. But there you go. Realize where the Americans are and the quick fed and the calf point. He's going to set up machine gun in an aggressive and advanced position there. I doubt DeepDarkFantasy were anticipating. In fact, most players would not. But of course, that's where it's going to be surprised. And there it goes straight to the MG42 from an angle you never see. Second opposing up just to ensure the Americans are danced with a liberal serving of MG42 fire, routing those Yankee Schweinhund. Now he does go for the infantry company, so double MG42s, double Pioneers, then he attacks. Double assault guns out here for DeepDarkFantasy, all equipped with their grease guns. Pioneers sitting out here, nothing really going on there in KampfgruppeLehr's base as of yet. Probably some grenadiers here, I imagine. Some infantry to help hold the line against the Verdante armies. And there we go, grenadiers go on the way, their call point seized. Not quite locking down an MG42, that might be a bit too bold there for KampfgruppeLehr against the Americans, but still catching their soldiers here with the MG42. Pioneers running quickly, deal with them and run them off. And defend the carve point, further delaying here DeepDarkFantasy's early fuel. And ensuring that KampfgruppeLehr actually gets a bit of an edge there. Grenadiers moving out there. Reactions could try and push for the carve point, of course they might get surprised. Machine gun safety now moving up here. And there you go, machine gun coming up the other flank here. Question is, was DeepDarkFantasy anticipating this much? I mean, most Wehrmacht players tend not to go for double MG42s. And of course he should have seen it. I mean, he saw both of them, but even then he might be a bit worried here as the activity which KampfgruppeLehr is displaying with his assault unit are MG42s, because again most Wehrmacht players will not use the machine guns, both of them, this actively. They go for 2 of them. Pioneers moving up here, second this one there for KampfgruppeLehr, in which point it's going to have 2 Pioneers, 2 Grenadiers, 2 MG42s. A reasonably flexible opening actually, to be honest, but now DeepDarkFantasy has managed to pierce the iron grip of KampfgruppeLehr and sort of managed to sneak up behind and hit the calf one there. Nice one. That's going to force them to have to either abandon the front line here or risk losing a lot of resources elsewhere. Things are getting interesting. They're heating up. There we go. Troops are pressed here by the machine gun. Hang on. That's not supposed to be able to shoot through there. Sometimes. Those maps. Bit lucky, I guess, there for KampfgruppeLehr. Rather than their hold up an MG42 fuel pond cut off there. In fact, it's rendered neutral. Mortar out here for DeepDarkFantasy, now trying to react again to a decidedly surprising turn of events for him, since again most American players will not do what KampfgruppeLehr is doing. Take up happening there, very good, so good. Mortar moving up there, bombarding directly, but also smoke screen and rush it with, say, assault units with flamethrowers. Moving up west side here again, we got the M4 to correct there. The machine guns are certainly pinning down DeepDarkFantasy within his base, and he's increasingly losing, troops that can actually, do anything there to KampfgruppeLehr in return. Could he go for another? He could go for another mortar, obviously, but at this stage, I guess he's going to go for something like the 50 caliber. But double mortars would help against all these machine guns. Reposition the one there against the mortar. Moving up the east side there, the assault unit is very good. Instead of just trying to bash his head in, he's going to try and outmaneuver his opponent, at least to some degree. Take up for CampfgruppeLehr, taking advantage of whatever edges can, you know, just push ahead against his opponent. Very good. And we could see the British getting wiped out by the MG42, the 1200 rounds per minute, gunning them down. But no, it looks like they are going to make it. Mortar firing down Lieutenant here, occupying the MG42, slightly scram back the cutoff point. Eastern victory point almost east there with the other sort of near squad. Ambulance away there for DeepDarkFantasy to make up for the wounds and casualties he's suffering there at least a bit. Their troops reinforcing back here and certainly going to need healing. Mortar in to blast away at CampfgruppeLehr's positions there. When he's moving up, going to try and flush out the lieutenant soldiers nearby. And the other squad moving up. He could push for the fuel pump flamethrowers in the way. He's going to try and assist the situation there by burning out the crowd, scorching the Nazis. Ambulance arriving there for DeepDarkFantasy in the 6th Armored Division. Rifle grenade off and gets a wipe. Nicely done there by CampfgruppeLehr, leaving DeepDarkFantasy's opening further in tatters as he just continues with those machine guns and other nasty bits. But there you go. Routing one of the MG42s there. DeepDarkFantasy is finally creating an opening here in CampfgruppeLehr's wall here. And there you go, Grenadiers being routed. Now we're looking to see a larger rout here as the front line is now unraveling like a poorly knit sweater. By our threatened grandmother who was struck while she knitted it, despite warnings from a doctor not to drink and knit. 5th Cavalry on the way there for DeepDarkFantasy to help deal with infantry. To the way there for CampfgruppeLehr and the Panzer Division, which likely would not have had 222 since they were now kind of being phased out at that stage. Would have had access to 234 armoured cars. In fact, was one of the few Panzer Division tanks to receive Pumas. Little fun fact there. But 5th Cavalry almost done there. Should help at least a bit versus the 222, but it's going to need bazookas and other things that will really stop it. Medic bunker up here for CampfgruppeLehr and the Panzer Division. Troops are healing and enforcing. Pioneer seizing points of victory points wise. It's the lead actor here for DeepDarkFantasy over CampfgruppeLehr. Both few points there are his, but both are now been cut off there by DeepDarkFantasy, delivering a surgical strike there. Very nice play. 2 pursuing in there, catching the reactions out in the open. 5th Cavalry moving up and get into the house and pop the armor piercing round. Should have a decent chance as of the 222. Already the 5th Cavalry crew is suffering casualties here to the armoured car, as the autocannon and the crashing machine in there are just hammering away. Troops healing and reinforcing. Assault's moving up here for the fuel pump by the looks of it. Certainly getting fuel back here for DeepDarkFantasy would be great. Reinforcement healing here for CampfgruppeLehr, getting his machine guns back in order. Heading for the fuel pump there, very good. Rifleman lieutenant heading out. But, oh, some of them are getting stuck here due to the ambulance. He's positioned here by way of the exit. A bit of a piece of advice there, but don't place your ambulance right next to your base. Like, give it a bit of spacing in there. I mean, it's got a good healing aura, so it basically avoids situations like these where troops getting stuck. Just place it a bit out in the open, you know. This is sort of a reasonably good distance. Personally, it's what I do when I play the Americans, and it tends to mean a lot less, oddities happening. So a bit of advice there for me. Pushing that west side, we got Panzer going away there for CampfgruppeLehr. Sehr good. Wunderbar. And there you go. Another Sony squad out here for DeepDarkFantasy in the 6th Armoured. More flamethrowers on the way there to burn out those crowds. Fuel point has been finally re-liberated in the name of America and the free world. Mortar under fire here. Mortar setting up there in the east. Lieutenant moving in there for the eastern victory point. Troops are reinforcing. Assault's getting good to go. 5th Cavalry there's covering up the area at least somewhat. Panzer going to be on the move. Troops healing reinforcing. Eastern point is secure. We got a bazooka on the lieutenant to help deal with German light vehicles. My apologies, by the way, got a bit of a cold. They tend to sort of, for me at least, hit in sort of weird and wondrous ways, and so I never quite know what you end up getting when you get a cold. 2-2, they're falling back in the face of Lieutenant. Panzer's Pioneers moving up. In the centre, we've got Assault Units charging forwards here at the MG42. a really bold maneuver, but of course, we can sort of get off with enough force and not get caught in the machine gun right away. You can do a lot of damage. There you go. Almost takes out the machine gun there in a few bursts. Very good. 2-2 almost taking out the turn, but the Panzers they keep the 2-2 safe. Very good. Going straight here for the car point. Possibly got a mortar out here by the way from KampfgruppeLehr. So good. Fuel pump captured here by the Americans there, or Germans. Machine gun covering up as well. It's going to need some mortar support there. Good flank to hold it up. Student light tank here for DeepDarkFantasy. Going to be a really good choice here versus KampfgruppeLehr, who is lacking in sort of any immediate counters. Telemines are one option, but he has been laying them down. The other one would be the Panzerschreck, so the Raketen Panzerbüchse. Machine gun there getting flanked and mortared. Yeah, small chance of wipe here for. Actually, it sounds look really good here for DeepDarkFantasy. The grease guns there and the flame for having quite an impact. And there we go. Big loss of a KampfgruppeLehr. A bold, aggressive set of machine gun though. In the longer run, a bit too exposed there and isolated and wiped. Big win there for DeepDarkFantasy. Denies his opponent machine, of course, gains one. That means you can really begin putting the pressure there on KampfgruppeLehr's infantry. Pioneers being mortared here, need to be careful. Moving westwards. 4 kills so far. Stuart light tank though is about to hit as well. And that could certainly further tighten the screws then KampfgruppeLehr. Also, actually we'll just wait for that bit. They're more sitting up here behind the cemetery walls, or in front of them, depending on your perspective. In the south, munitions being harassed by the pioneers. 2-2 continuing to hammer away there. But the riflemen are not budging here, waiting for the Stuart to arrive and push away that 2-2-2. Nice work there by DeepDarkFantasy. More Panzer Grenadiers there for KampfgruppeLehr. There's going to be some assault heavy forces there for KampfgruppeLehr. Very nice. 2-2 is about to go down. And we might expect at least one of them to be, I guess, upgraded with Panzerschreck of these two squads. Though it could be wrong. Soldiers moving up here through the centre. Stuart falling back. Machine gun setting up. Can it stop this one in time, or will it be too late? Nope. Manages it. Just in the nick of time, and there you go. Panzer is arriving. And there you go. Equips one squad with Panzerschrecks. The soldiers are almost wiped out. Very close here. Did they get wiped? Oh, it's because it's Stark again. The way he's positioned his ambulance is causing some really weird things again due to the way the American base is designed. Again, it looks really neat, but yeah, it's really weird. Of course, it could be intentional to ensure your units don't get wiped, I guess, but yeah. More to wipe, a bit of a loss there for DeepDarkFantasy. Panzerschreck's up. DeepDarkFantasy once more on the defensive. It really should just get that ambulance a bit further away. Can't crew that because, again, the rest of the unit here is sort of caught up there. I mean, there's increasingly a lot of people just getting stuck like it's some sort of bloody labyrinth. Panzers are going for the Stuart light tank there, but the soldiers doing heavy damage. Panzer Stuart there's trying to push them about. Oh, main gun is out, but there you go. Manages to save the Stuart. Oh, scheisse. Panzerschreck dropped. This is quickly turning horror there for KampfgruppeLehr. Probably should have moved in something a bit extra there. Okay, somehow they managed to extricate themselves here from the labyrinth of the US base. Panzergewehr, there's the lieutenant in the east, gunning them down there with assault rifles. The Sturmgewehr 44, sehr gut. Fixing up the Stuart light tank, and he's pushing with the fuel point again. Flamethrower assault units there, dealing with MB-4. Could be another rifle for KampfgruppeLehr, needs to be careful with that. Giving his opponent two MB-42s would definitely be on the not very good end of the spectrum. Anyways, a big thanks to Dion and to Susan for donating and supporting the Propagandacast. You are truly my company of heroes. So big thanks to you. And back to your regularly scheduled propaganda. Assault is charging force rate for the mortar. Could try and grab that machine gun as well. Of course, grab the mortar. That'd be, of course, pretty huge here for DeepDarkFantasy. Doesn't quite land it. Oh, close losing the assault units here. It looks like the other squad has that one under control. So at least they're dealing with the Grenadiers. Will he go for the machine gun there? Looks like he so far isn't. They could do it any moment here. So Paul McCall going up for KampfgruppeLehr. Very good. Trying to push ahead there with whatever edge you can and push out a fast Panzer IV. Definitely a good idea. In particular, nice loss. His third machine gun. He's going to need something with a bit more punch. And certainly that is currently one of DeepDarkFantasy's most glaring force issues. He's got one bazooka and that's really it. And unless you're in a Hollywood movie, that's not going to be enough to just easily stop the Germans. Ooh, lost his Panzer Grenadiers. As below there to the KampfgruppeLehr. DeepDarkFantasy, of course, has been executing a solid defense, then slowly pushing back into Bund, of course, now again has 3 machine guns, 2 MG42s and a 50 caliber. And he's pushing for the fuel point in the east. I mean, right now, the biggest edge that KampfgruppeLehr, of course, has is that Panzer IV. So if he loses that one, he's going to be in for a really bad time. Soldiers shouting forwards here. Panzer Pioneers doing what they can to stop them, but it's a bit of a disparate force trying to stop 2 assault engineer squads. But there you go. The linchpin arrives here for KampfgruppeLehr. It is the Panzer IV shoots and hits some rubble instead. No Americans were harmed in the process. But there you go. Soldiers taking heavy losses now. Casualties are piling up and they're forced to retreat here. How much do you want to bet someone's getting stuck here again? Punching is probably into the church, missing the Stuart light tank. Noting, by the way, he has not upgraded with the second Panzer on that squad. So they just with 1. Almost got the captain there, and he actually went for a captain, so he's not going to immediately head for medium armor of his own, instead going for the anti-tank gun and such. Panzer IV going straight here for the Stuart light tank. Panzer, by the way, still not picked up by a DeepDarkFantasy. You'd figure he'd do that, honestly. It's a pretty good deal, but for some reason DeepDarkFantasy does not want to touch this German devilry. My God, I heard if you touched a Panzerschreck, you turn into Hitler. How does that make sense? Hitler, man! Anyways, they got the Panzerschreck. So now they, pack a bit more punch. KampfgruppeLehr in a bold and decisive move goes for Spearhead. We're going to have to deal with the Panzer IV. There we go, Panzer IV down to half health after that encounter. In the East, Rifleman versus 2 Grenadier squads, noting that KampfgruppeLehr, while he's done many things, has yet to upgrade a single Grenadier squad with light machine guns. But he's about to get a wipe here because DeepDarkFantasy is not paying attention. There you go. Pop goes that Weaselman. He's got no Rifleman left, it's all assault engineers and the Lieutenant. DeepDarkFantasy could work a bit there on his infantry preservation. Mortar opening up here. Fixing up the Panzer IV. MG42 there hammering away, taking amount of casualties, still moving ahead. Soldiers charging force against the street of the Panzer IV. Troops reinforcing. The soldiers taking amount of casualties, but overall the Panzer IV so far isn't acting as a major deterrent. In fact, we got the anti-tank lieutenant moving up there. KampfgruppeLehr has plenty of manpower, could consider some more Panzer Grenadier. Machine guns will also be a nice idea. We got a fuel cache up though for some longer term planning that could also work out. Certainly supporting his ideas from armor would be a pretty good idea there. Plus we'll also help in the longer term towards getting a Tiger tank out a bit more easily. Panzer there being swarmed by assault engineers, easily routed. Building down, machine gun within it, entombed beneath a lot of debris. So we'll have to see what KampfgruppeLehr does next. He's got the fuel cache up, which does again provide a bit more fuel. He's going to need that fuel point back, and again, more infantry really would be helpful for him. Similarly, it would be for DeepDarkFantasy. Seizing the point here, mines down. Lots of mines, not a bad idea. What is this? We got a second fuel cache up from KampfgruppeLehr. That is very interesting. Not something you see at all like that at least happen. I mean, event player map build, or any player map build, you know, 2 fuel caches doing 1 versus 1, but usually not in a row at this stage, and the force is looking like this. But clearly, KampfgruppeLehr's got some sort of bigger plan in mind. So fixing up the Panzer IV here, fuel cache. Because then, of course, we're providing with plenty of fuel. So once you got the fuel point off there, we got a bulldozer showing out here though for DeepDarkFantasy. There we go. Both now get the same amount of fuel despite, you know, KampfgruppeLehr having less territory than his opponent. Lots of mines being laid down here, but DeepDarkFantasy still very good, very good. Panzer there taking minor losses. Got a fragmentation bomb ready here for KampfgruppeLehr to try and, you know, ruin DeepDarkFantasy's day. I will call in bomb strike there, for example, could do a lot of damage here to DeepDarkFantasy. Bulldozer Sherman opening up here. Canadians managed to dodge the counter shot there with some ease, and we got more Panzers out there. We got a fragmentation bomb as well here on the church. KampfgruppeLehr shows no mercy. There we go, the church splinters, annihilating the machine gun crew within, leaving him just with the 50 caliber crew once more. A decisive pummeling. Panther 1 to 5 from the tank against the lieutenants, doing a lot of damage to it in a very short amount of time. Pioneers on the 5 from the Steward, closing in on the ace level there. Very good for DeepDarkFantasy. Sherm sitting out. Back here, troops setting out there for KampfgruppeLehr. Getting now 32 fuel per minute. Getting more than his opponent, despite again, in theory, having less. So the map again, the top 2 fuel caches really just allow him to push ahead there. And he can actually gain, you know, sort of roughly the same amount of terrain there, as his opponent's going to really get a lot more fuel than him. It's certainly getting very interesting here in that sense. Panzer Grenadiers moving about. Panzer is doing what they can as well there. Pushing for the centre victory point. Noting a victory point lead here for KampfgruppeLehr. Panzerfaust on the Sherman. Leaving it with a rather damaged engine. 5th Cavalry opening up there, the advancing Panzer Grenadiers. Unit wiped out, leaving them just 2 Panzer squads and 1 Grenadier squad now. This is moving about. Fun fact about the German fuel situation. Not only were the Germans, you know, very much struggling with fuel as the war went on, but they're also highly reliant on synthetic fuel, which they actually made out, I think it was lignite or some other type of coal, other stuff there. So in fact they got most of their fuel increasingly via synthetic fuel plants. In fact, Germany was, I think, the primary synthetic fuel producer during the war. So, fun fact there. Panzerjäger Lieutenant engaging the Panzer IV, Bazooka Bob and Panzer Shrek Paul opening up there. Panzer IV is closing approach. Oh, crushing them! A crushing development there for DeepDarkFantasy Lieutenant. More rock and roll for him, getting one from that, very good. Almost got the reactions here. He is getting close to the Tiger tank. Again, the fuel cache is definitely helping out. And there you go, betting 2 for the Panzer IV Schützen added. Which is a fun added side note. Actually caused Allied infantry at times to, well, also tank crews, I imagine, to mistake the Panzer IV for a Tiger tank, since in terms of silhouette, it actually gave them a somewhat similar appearance. In particular, we weren't really trained in telling the two apart. So, little fun side note there. But Tiger tank out here for KampfgruppeLehr for the fatherland. DeepDarkFantasy is going to definitely need to bring up some anti-tank material to stop the mighty Tiger. The Tiger. Coming up here, flanking the Bulldozer Sherman, getting off a nice hit there. Panzerjäger's coming up. Nice rocket hit there. Panzer IV that bounces the shot off the Sherman's armour. Tiger tank moving in here. Panzer moving up. We're going to probably try and look for any support ones to clear out with bung grenades and likes, but taking heavy focus fire there from the rest of the nearby units, making that mission difficult there for KampfgruppeLehr. You could consider maybe calling out a mortar after to lay down smoke screens. That could maybe help me out push off some of these tactics. You should also perhaps consider more harassment on the left flank. Still, KampfgruppeLehr is now decisively getting more fuel than his opponent. And again, we're talking now roughly 50-50 split, like again, because of those two fuel canisters. He is simply getting much more fuel than his opponent in the longer run. And of course, if he actually begins, gaining more map, then it's going to really snowball in favor of KampfgruppeLehr. Return, they're almost annihilated in a shower of death and gore. TIE tank there with 6 kills, troops healing reinforcing. Gundy's covering up the eastern victory point there. You probably should consider more infantry and more armour, obviously. And again, there's the potential there for the mortar half-track to arrive. But we'll see what he ends up with. As for DeepDarkFantasy, I believe tank destroyers probably should be a part of his priority increasingly. And your thoughts on the way there for KampfgruppeLehr? Fixing up the Panzer IV. Panzers there versus the assault engineers. Stuart there hanging about. Still going to take over there for Mr. DeepDarkFantasy. West side, but it's really open. I'm surprised KampfgruppeLehr isn't doing normally. Obviously, there's a potential for mines, but he's got plenty of mines for pioneers. Just do the work there without exposing anyone to harm. Panzer IV sitting out there, halfway to eventually free in the ace level. Panzer IV getting resistance slots, bazookas out there for DeepDarkFantasy. Certainly increasing the anti-tank weaponry he's got available here versus KampfgruppeLehr. Steward gains the ace level here, and there you go. Tank Buster Lieutenant moving out. Panzer IV's going to have to get out of there. Tiger probably needs to get down there to stop this affront to German engineering. Rockets they're flying at it, some bouncing, some not. Tiger tank is good to go, needs to get moving. Schnell. Achtung. Schwerer Panzer. And he's going for tier 4 now. Wow. Never a dull moment with KampfgruppeLehr, it seems. Tiger tank moving up here. Tank Buster Lieutenant opening up then the Tiger tank. Machine gun conditioning the camp from side. The household is there being suppressed, but they're getting close enough to get off the flamethrowers. They're taking fire there though. From the Tiger tank. Panzerjäger's moving up. Grenadiers need to retreat. Machine gun there is being burned out as well. There we go. Light going to lose the machine gun. Grenades off from the lieutenant. Oh, one assault swap pinned down, but the machine gun goes down to the second one. Completely combusted. Bit of a blow there to KampfgruppeLehr. Didn't get that much damage on the machine gun in the end. Tiger tank with 11 kills. Panzer gun there pushing ahead. Geballte landing off, routing the rifleman. Steward rolling forward, staying to line of fire. The Tiger tank got the bulldozer moving in from the side. Panzer IV was being rapidly repaired by the pioneers. Panzer gun squad needs to retreat. Steward there takes a fat hit here from the Tiger tank. Going to try and get away, but chooses poorly and goes down. And we finally got some, by the looks of it, take up here for DeepDarkFantasy. Very good. It could have been that faster. And there you go. Sherman there now exposed. Getting focused down here, both Tiger and Panzer IV. You could hit the mine, Scheiße! But gets spotted there by the pioneers, following up in the wake of the Tiger tank. Almost got the Sherman, and the Sherman goes down. An 88mm armor piercing round cooks off the munitions. Machine gun there could go down. Oh, very close. Structural integrity is near nil. And barely makes it out there. There's some of them sadly not make it out in time, are entombed. No heavy Panzer Corps yet up there for KampfgruppeLehr. Another push for the centre. Still not really much action on the flanks. Really should consider expending a bit more effort there. Also, I think a good move here, but he's prioritising repairing the Panzer IV, which is the least damage, and quickly get that one back in the fight there over the repairing the Tiger tank. Thumbs up there to KampfgruppeLehr. Good prioritization is a good skill to have. Now they just had a bit better oversight of the battlefield, but they're going Grenadiers westwards. But this would really be a better job for the pioneers. And despite him going for tier 4, he's going to go for another Panzer IV here. It does make sense. It just seems a bit weird then. Panzer gun is falling back. Tiger tank fixed. Panzer IV is doing zip. Someone's moving back one squad ace. The other one is very close to ace. In fact, they just need to sneeze at a German and they'll somehow gain the, sufficient experience to become an ace level infantry squad. There we go. Second Panzerfort there for KampfgruppeLehr. Scott on the way for DeepDarkFantasy though. You'd figure he'd go for tank destroyers, but I can still understand the Scott. I mean, it is really great versus infantry, but there you go. Looks like he realised, hang on, I need to destroy tanks. Looks like the Jackson's on the dinner table here, and certainly would be the straightforward choice here for DeepDarkFantasy in the 6th Armour Division. There we go. KampfgruppeLehr setting off an armoured assault tank. Panzerforce ready, infantry as well. Mortar would be nice if we recruit and lay down smoke screen, but there you go, moving up. Apparently, DeepDarkFantasy are expecting a move here into the west, but instead it's now pushing the centre here with the infantry moving ahead, screening the tanks. Also scouting ahead there. Tiger tanks are moving in forward, acting as support. And the Panzerforce looking to be a flanking element. Once it has attained where some of the elements are, we'll then move in from this possibly a flanking element, then, flanking part, and then take out whatever needs to be taken out. In which case, good setup there by KampfgruppeLehr. Heavy Panzerkorps, he does go for it in the end. Panzerforce remain in reserve now, possibly anticipating some sort of armoured move. Or is there something else going on in the mind of KampfgruppeLehr? It's hard to say, but there you go. Assault is being blasted by the target tank. Tank Buster Major moving out there as well. Tank Buster echelons are doing what they can. Panzerforce still remaining in reserve. KampfgruppeLehr is not committing them to the fight here. You would figure he'd done that, but for some reason he remains hesitant. What is causing this hesitancy from KampfgruppeLehr? Why is he keeping two perfectly fine Panzerforce back? I mean, is he just, waiting from direct approval from the Führer before he commits them or something? I'm waiting for approval from the Führer! Are you an idiot? You've not been told to hold him back. I don't care. I will hold him back until I get approval. He's dead in 2019. It's a game. Dear pixels, Dummkopf. Anyways, fixing up the target tank. Troops reinforcing healing. Panzers there suppressed. KampfgruppeLehr's Führer reserve continues to wait. Panzergrenadiers moving out. Mortars laying down smoke, very good. Panzerforce as well there. Just not a lot of manoeuvring there going on from either player. Would like to see some more flanking and a bit more attempt to start manoeuvring the other bastard, but both so far seem a bit. Oh, there you go. Führer wakes up. Apparently he got approval somehow, or he just decided, to decide that was actually silly. Either way, Panzerforce going here for the lieutenant. Blasting him with a liberal dose of high explosive rounds and machine gun rounds. No button grenade there. Need to fix up the target tank. Panzers then need to retreat schnell, as their assault is moving in to exercise them. There you go, Panzerwerfer up here for KampfgruppeLehr. Target tank bow is close to Veteran 2. That's really great here. There we go. Veteran 2 gained increased range and, more importantly, increased accuracy, which is definitely bad news for any infantry. Mortar that goes down there is not good for KampfgruppeLehr. Breaking the Panzerforce, in fact, almost taken out here by the tank buster swarms of Mr. DeepDarkFantasy. Panzerforce against the Isla, 37 kills. Tiger was up, misses though. Gains there by the Jackson. Nice hit there on it though. Push for the centre victory point finally. And nothing to come up against the Panzergrenadiers there. Panzerwerfer's just sitting about. Their troops in reinforcing. Mortar fire, 50 caliber fire there, and the Panzergrenadiers on the centre victory point. And these Grenadiers here versus the Assault Engineers, East level. And a Scott now here for DeepDarkFantasy. Not more tank destroyers. There we go, Panzerwerfer getting in by way of the reasonably close range, so there we go. Decreased scatter and increased overall lethality, taking out the 50 caliber crew in a shower of dirt and high explosives. And now DeepDarkFantasy is engaging in a bit of cash or arson or pyromania as he begins proceeding to burn that place down. Panzer Force were getting prepared by the Pioneers, not the other way around. But Panzer Grenadier on the move. Jackson moving ahead here, close to veterans you want. Jackson hanging back. Need to fix up the Tiger tank. Troops reinforcing. Close to veterans need 2. Ace level Panzer IV need a few repairs. Fixing up the Tiger tank. Again, the west side seems very much like a ghost town at the moment. KampfgruppeLehr seems really hesitant to move into an action reminds me of Pioneers used to work there. Another machine on the way there for him. Rockets just flying at the Panzer Force. Need to get that ace level out there. Tiger tank moving up. I want to start moving in as well into the engage once more. Engagement there on the Tiger tank. There we go. Direct hit on the center of the tank buster horde. There you go. Another hit there. 27 kills from the Tiger tank. Direct hit from Jackson on it. Scott is blasting away 2 kills so far. Mortar going to be nabbed here by DeepDarkFantasy, leaving KampfgruppeLehr with no artillery now except the Panzerwerfer. You know, less flexible in a sense. Numbers of some need repairs. Oh, that was a close one there. Scott almost hit the Pioneer squads after repairing the Panzer IV. That would have been an absolute horrific loss there for KampfgruppeLehr. As that would cause any expensive replacement. More importantly, would also delay any tank repairs. So that would have been a double whammy there. An amazing hit there for KampfgruppeLehr. DeepDarkFantasy that going off. Tiger tank now to be repaired halfway to the ace level. Panzer IV ace moving forwards once more for the fatherland, Germany. There goes soldiers moving forwards in full line of fire. The Panzer IV first misses, but of course with that veteran 3 bones we do get a nice rate of fire. Second shot though also misses. That's grand. Panzerwerfer moving up. Panzer is moving in. We're finding on the center victory point. People continue to get stuck here. He's still not moving that ambulance. There you go. Panzer back down the support weapon this time though. As you might have noticed, he was firing from a much further away distance, which only increases scatter, meaning, you know, overall less effective. So that ended up not really having any impact, except maybe a slight psychological one there on DeepDarkFantasy. Fragmentation bomb ready. Tiger tank moving in. Pioneers just constantly working and fixing up those panzers. I mean, roughly here would actually be a good call-in time, I think, for a fragmentation bomb. Which would do it while under doing an attack. It might just disrupt DeepDarkFantasy. Enough there. Big push into the east. Lots of infantry here. Machine gun covering up. He's going to need some armor support down there to hold that off, I think, properly. And there you go. Artillery called in. And there you go. Tank buster horde going after the Panther. Oh, there you go. Second Panther moving up. We have Jackson up. Tiger tank also moving in here. We got air recons out here for KampfgruppeLehr. Nice to see that. So I'm using a bit more of his doctrine. Tiger tank is bouncing rockets. Panzer IV moving in. Scott opening as well there. Jackson down to half health. Fragmentation bomb could be called in here while everything else going on. This in fact would be a great timing to call it in. His opponent likely wouldn't be paying attention to what's going on and could then, you know, lose his support weapons here. But so far, looks like he's also focused on pursuing Jackson to his opponent's base. I feel like that's a bit of an overreach, but there you go. Gets the Jackson tank destroyed. Gets a damage taken. Can take out the ambulance as well, I guess. Shoots, misses. Panzer fire raining down. He could still follow up with a fragmentation bomb, which I think would be a bit more effective. And there you go, got the fragmentation bomb, and I think you should have called in a bit more there, but still doing some damage, depending on how it ended up being actually called in. And there you go, gets the mortar, almost gets the machine gun in the other mortar to tank the escapes. Going to go here for the anti-tank, Tiger tank. He's got some armor and infantry support down there. Though, except the problem is most of his tanks are too heavily damaged, really by any serious support. But still, there's the infantry, the infantry. Where are the Panzer going to use to work with the Panzers? KampfgruppeLehr. If you use the Panzer to throw down the smoke screen, Nebel. Close one there. Titan doing pursuit. The Ace Panzer IV that goes down. Bit of a blow there. Plenty of fuel by for DeepDarkFantasy. Tiger tank's about to hit the ace level. Zod's about to go up in flames, and there you go. Hits the ace level. 35 kills. Pop smoke. Panzer gun is moving in, but they're moving for the victory point in the center. Not spawning the Tiger tank. Machine gun opening up there. Tiger tank is barely operable. And it goes down. A devastating loss of the fun. Even can quickly replace it. He cannot replace the veterans he lost. Still, center position being cleared out here by the Panzer Grenadiers. Machine gun down. Mortar being routed. I suppose at least there's one Panzer IV that managed to survive that engagement. Bulldozer Sherman out. That's not going to help much versus the Panzer IV or the second. Tiger tank hits a mine. Lots of mines by the way down there from DeepDarkFantasy. Very nice work. Very nice work. Panzerjägers there under fire from the Bulldozer Sherman. DeepDarkFantasy's forces are looking a bit tattered. Shot on anti-tank weapon here against KampfgruppeLehr. And the Panzer Division being stood here for the Bulldozer Sherman. Shoots, misses. Another hit there though. There's something nearby. And might be able to take out the Sherman. There you go. Pop goes the Weasels. Leaving now DeepDarkFantasy without any armor here against KampfgruppeLehr. And the mighty Panzers under his command. Anti-tank and there could recruit lots of bazookas. They're flanking the Tiger tank. He did lose the Tank Buster Lieutenant. Tank Buster Thomas, as he was known. Before he got, well, busted by Tank blown to bits. At which point he became Tank Busted Thomas. Which is also what they wrote on his tombstone. Panzer off, the Tiger tank hits another mine. Utterly blind barrage does a bit of damage to the mortar crew, which seems to be stuck by the ambulance. Almost. Another mine there. Tiger tank is hitting every mine on the way back, it seems. But looks like he's going to take a shortcut, dodging any further mines. So was that? Ooh, almost taking out there another machine gun. Very brutal fight here. KampfgruppeLehr stand 145 versus DeepDarkFantasy's 244.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Spotting more mines. He's been laying out a mix of M7 and M6 anti-tank mines. M5s, but either way, mix their mines. Not bad. Not bad. Quite impressive, actually. Panzers moving up, Panzer opening up. Goodbye to Lading, routing the rifleman. Machine gun reinforcing, he should reinforcing soon. Panzer is almost good to fire once more here for Deutschland. Soldiers was the Panzer Grenadiers, Panzer IV hanging back, halfway to it, and two soldiers routed here in the east point, they're being seized. Big 2 points are now taking out fast here for DeepDarkFantasy. How will he try to recover from this? I mean, tank destroyers do seem to be at least somewhat required, at least regular Shermans rather than bulldozer Shermans, since they can take on armor at least somewhat. Although they do strike against the Tiger tank, but they do better than a 105mm Sherman, that's for sure. Panzer firing away there. Again, rather high distance, still ends up doing some kills, but could have had a bit of better impact. Might be setting up here for Sturmpanzer or Panther. I mean, it's got plenty of manpower. It's certainly got some room for something bigger than just Panzer Force. Panzer, they need to fall back. They're taking heavy damage from the assault gears. Bomb grenade off, though. Easily dodged here, though, by DeepDarkFantasy. Panther 4 Titan going up. No pin up machine on the the Titan. The Panther 4 does have one. Going up in the gun leads from the flank. Could go straight for the tank and find the armor piercing, discarding sabot rounds. 6-gun crew, and one guy going down to 2 men, but they are suffering out quickly, and there you go, crew is dead. Jackson on the way there for DeepDarkFantasy and the 6th Armored Division. Jason's out in the open getting blasted by the Titan and the Panther 4. Damaged engine on the Tiger tank. And the echelons are routed. Rifleman about there, Veterancy 3, 5 kills. DeepDarkFantasy forces overlooking a rather minute compared to what KampfgruppeLehr has, and there you go, entered tank and destroyed permanently. Tiger tank shoots missiles, but they need to fall back. They could get wiped out here, which would be a small help there for DeepDarkFantasy. Of course, what comes next is not going to be a help and form at all. It's KampfgruppeLehr is now adding a Panther to the mix, very much resulting likely in a full off seal of any armor, since Tiger tank Panther 1 Panther is going to be an awful lot there for DeepDarkFantasy Jackson to deal with. Panther for the barrage goes off, kills no one. That does suppress a bit. Panther 1 that's about to hit the Veteran 10, gain the armored Schützen, but it's also very close to hitting a mine. Jackson engages, penetrating in the Panther 4, Titan up, they engage. Oh, backed up with the Panther, there we go, blitzing away, very good, because of the smoke, and there you go. Panther is almost done there for KampfgruppeLehr. Almost, but not quite. Mine goes off, killing several Panzergrenadier. And there you go, Panzerkampfwagen 5. Gefechtsbereit. Giving KampfgruppeLehr now the definite armor advantage, whereas DeepDarkFantasy's got, well, a lot of munitions, but sadly he can't quite, I think, utilize that in a more direct and effective manner versus KampfgruppeLehr and all of his tanks, unless he can somehow convincingly fast enough build up a severe minefield and somehow bait KampfgruppeLehr to just charging into that minefield. I mean, if we can do that, then DeepDarkFantasy is going to be an absolute god. But can he do that? Is he a god? Is there actually a god? I don't know. But anyways, Jackson Rifleman putting forwards into the Panzers. They're gaining the ace level. Titan tank shoots, misses. Sultan is there barreling forwards. Panther moving up. Flanking the Jackson tank destroyer very nicely. Titan tank up, Panther there. Quick power bomb grenade here. Panther there flanking. Oh, there you go. Panther barrels raining down all the infantry. Assault is being wiped out. Turning into a complete mess here for DeepDarkFantasy. Units are getting annihilated. His infantry is vanishing like dew before the sun. Like a snowball in hell. A complete mess here for DeepDarkFantasy. Most of his troops are dead. His chances of victory are now more or less nil. Unless KampfgruppeLehr in this very moment gets arrested by police or suffers a terminal heart attack. And there we go, Jackson down. And there you go, DeepDarkFantasy renders a victory for KampfgruppeLehr and the Panzerdivision. A bloody fight right here on Lost Glider, where the glider is internally lost. A nasty fight here. Overall, I would say the left side could have seen a lot more action from both players. There was certainly a lack of flanking at times there, and certainly I think Coles have been seeing a bit more smoke ships. It was an interesting fight with some good play there by both players. And then KampfgruppeLehr, I feel like had the better force composition, overall utilised his resources better, and certainly made good use of the fuel catches. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. And if you like what I do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers. Thank you all for watching. You all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.